It seems like maybe the best debilitating disease to have.
I disagree severely.
Welcome back, everyone, to S1E1, a show where each week we pick a different sitcom, watch just the first televised episode, and forgetting anything we know about the future run of that show, rate and decide if it's a show we want to greenlight or cancel. This week we're going to be talking about Stumble. Stumble is currently at 13 episodes with one season on NBC. Today we're talking about episode 1, which is called Pilot, originally airing November 7th, 2025. So to get things started, I'm Jay Gags. With me, as always, Joe Ferg, Nick Nogoro. What's going on, guys?
Heyo.
You can't forget what you already know.
Yeah.
I
So,
did. Taron Killam is so fucking amazing in this show.
He is the best character.
He like weirdly doesn't look like himself.
his beard's a little thicker than I think you've ever probably seen him
I don't know.
with, too, and
He's definitely gained weight too. Like,
put a little, yeah, I think he put a little weight on, got a little bit of a thicker beard. Yeah, it definitely,
I had to look it up. I was like, this guy looks like him, but it's not him, but it is him. It's so weird.
He had to look like a Texas coach.
Yeah, he's also in High Potential at the exact same time. Like, they're doing both those shows concurrently. And he's, like, recurring in High Potential. He's, like, the ex-husband. And he looks different in that show than he does in this show. And they're filming at the same time. Like, I don't know what it is about it, but they make him look so different.
So, yeah, Stumble, which, Joe, your pick.
Yeah, this is my absolute favorite new show in a number of years. I am, as I mentioned earlier, wearing my Heådlston Junior College buttons t-shirt. You can sort of see it. I bought this from like a weird off-brand website, and it cost more money than I want to say. And I love this show so much, I was like, I have to fucking have this t-shirt.
I was surprised because this is one of those ones where, like, you mentioned before we, like, picked our next, like, round of shows would be the one you'd want to pick. I was aware of the show, but I hadn't really watched it yet, like, was, like, meaning to. And you're like, this show is great. I was like, the cheerleading show?
It surprised me that he liked it because I watched it right when it came out, and
I agree.
It
is a surprise. It's also very NBC.
It feels to me like an NBC mockumentary show meets the humor of Parks and Rec. Like the over and over again of doing the same thing, like Taron Killam getting hit playing football. Like that scene feels, that's like the kind of like Parks and Rec thing where they always go back to the exact same joke in the exact same clip. I feel like it's those two things of humor. But also, I will say this. I think The League is one of the funniest shows ever, too. And I fucking hate football. So I didn't watch it for like 2 seasons. Someone was like, it's not about football. It's about people who watch football. And I was like, okay. And then I watched it and I was like, oh yeah, you don't need to like football to watch this show.
However, in this case, Joe happens to be a huge fan of competitive cheerleading.
Yeah, I don't like regular cheerleading, but I watch the ESPN 3 cheerleading tournament every year.
Show them your Bring It On tattoo.
I will say, I don't have a Bring It On tattoo, but I did love is it Sugar and Spice? What's the movie with
Mina
Kirsten
Savari?
Dunst?
Sugar and Spice.
Where they were like criminals?
Yeah, they're like criminal cheerleaders. That's a great movie, too. I haven't seen that since it came out, probably, but I remember enjoying that very much back then.
I said this at the top. We're 13 episodes in. The first season, as of the time of recording, like just finished.
Yeah, it finished last week, and we were very sad to have it be done.
NBC show, so you can watch it on NBC, you can watch it on Peacock. And then also I want to say IMDb 7.3 for the show, and then Rotten Tomatoes 82 critic, 95% audience. So it seems like the people
high.
who
Wow.
95 did seem very high.
Yeah.
For a modern show too, where you have like people on board. It's not just like a fan base going back and watching it.
I think the people who like it really like it.
I was gonna say it could be only a few people watch the show, and they're the ones that rated it.
True.
I mean, I will say we've rewatched the whole season 2.5 times.
Wow, you really like this show. Huh?
It's not that old to watch it multiple times, Joe.
Especially when we just said legit, the last episode came out like a few days ago.
Well, again, we watched like the first 9 of them because it stopped with the Olympics. So like they did the first 9, the Olympics paused it all. So we watched it all and then we rewatched it again. And then when the Olympics ended and they started doing the new episodes, we like watched the new ones and then it ticks over. It's like, want to watch episode 1 again? And we're like, okay. And you're just like doing stuff. So it's just on and like baby life, right? They're running around doing shit all the time. You're like, I don't want to think about something. Let's just finish watching fucking Stumble again. So it just like, it keeps going and it's still funny and you miss jokes. The writing of this is so dense that you miss stuff that you will see for sure the second time you watch it and further on. Guys, I'm going to cancel the show just so you know. I don't want to get my hand on this one.
I might out of spite. Spite cancel.
Show opens up and it's cheer coach Courteney Potter She's like training her school, and like as of right now is Sammy Davis Senior Junior College. I think is hilarious.
I feel like that joke right away, you're either in or you're out of this show, right? They walk in and that Chiron comes up and you're like, okay, I'm in on this. And then the dean is Dean Martin.
Dean
Martin. The fucking writing jokes and the name jokes of the show are so fucking good.
We see her like being the coach, and it's again, like mentioned, it's mockumentary style. I think shows have given up on like trying to explain why all these mockumentaries are being made all the time. I think Reggie Dinkins is the only one where like it's written into the story a little bit more, but
they touch on it in this episode though at the end.
Kinda.
They at least let you know they're making a documentary, and they're not
it's
just...
acknowledged that they're making it.
Yeah.
Like Parks and Rec, that was the one thing that always killed at Parks and Rec. Like The Office at least acknowledged it. Parks and Rec, I think, is such a funny show, but they never once are like,
right,
we're in a documentary. They just do testimonials or whatever.
She starts talking about how like coaching college cheer has been her life's work. She's now one championship shy of being the winningest coach in cheer history, in college cheer history. And like you see all these like
Bill Belichick, huh?
Yeah, the trophies are like, because they have those like, what are those called? The cone things they talk into?
A bullhorn?
Is that what that is? Like, because the trophies are those on the top of them, the trophies look so massive because like the top piece
you could use it too because it is just that shape. So you could use the trophy as its intended purpose.
Yeah.
They're megaphones known to the cheer community as spirit cones.
Spirit cones. Okay.
I actually have a WCW Jimmy Hart one from the 90s. They like made them as like merch items.
Now you get wrestling, you get cheerleading. Pick a sport, Joe.
Cheerleading.
The Spirit Squad.
Well, to be fair, I feel like the Young Bucks and all those guys are just doing what these people do anyway. It's not real wrestling.
That's true.
Anyways, so she's talking about how she put together one of the finest, most athletic, and most disciplined teams that she's ever had. In the background, we see like one of those like pyramid formations, but it tumbles and everyone falls to the ground. And she goes, "Oh, this is not them." And then we get like an intro, which was like interesting because it's just like a title screen and it's playing that song, the like APT. Song. It's Bruno Mars and what's her name, like Rosie or something like that. She's like a Korean star or whatever. But it's like the pate that song. But
Don't you want me?
Yeah, I like that song a lot too. But I don't know if that's
this is the first time I ever heard that song watching this, by the way. I had no idea. Is this like a big song?
Yes.
It became a hit because it was popular on TikTok.
Well, it's also Bruno Mars. But yeah, Joe, is this a song? Does this stay the intro? Because the way it came up, it like fades right into the scene and the song's still playing in the scene.
Yeah, so same intro.
So they always use the song. Interesting, because I was like, how would they go about... So it
always stays that way the whole time, always, too. It's
so to have
like
that song fade into the first scene all the time seems weird unless they cut the song off.
Yeah, now I'm thinking about the beginning of it again. I'm pretty sure I could be wrong. I have watched it a number of times, but I think it's the same the whole way through, yeah.
Because from that intro, we go right back into like a continuation of the team practicing, and then we cut to Courtney being interviewed in the office. This is like very talking head, like heavy, this show.
Very, very
and
heavy.
It cuts back and forth a lot. Sometimes when we do shows like this, these mockumentary ones, like I get nervous about like how to explain things without getting like ramble mouthed about, and then we cut back and then we cut back. But she's in the office, and again, she's like showing like pictures, and we see the trophies. She's talking about how this is the 14th in a row year that she's been like in the college, and that ties her with her former coach, Marge Harburg, and she shows a picture. The picture, like the face is blocked out, and then we later find out that like Marge declined, to be part of the documentary. And she talks about how mean she was and would always like say mean things about her legs. And then when they tell us later that she had declined to be in the documentary, but she did talk badly about Courtney's legs.
This reminded me of The Paper when in the first episode, when they do the Oscar thing about how his contract actually never had an end date.
Yeah.
Also, they do pay this off later.
It's really fun, though, that not fun, but it's smart writing that they put that in. Because you always think about these documentaries and stuff, how people have to all sign a waiver just to be in it. And then you think back at like watching shows like Cops. So after all that shit, like they got the criminals to sign.
There's a long history of just like people unfortunately being like, hey, if you sign this, might go a little easier on you in court, right? Like people actually getting like railroaded, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing about that is like, it's not so much they're just like, they're stupid, dumb criminals. It's somebody being like, hey, if you sign this, might be able to get your
Well, you can
lightened.
be filmed in public, can't you?
You can be filmed. So like if you're we're filmed in public
Depends
all
on
the
the
time,
state.
by the way. Like people's Ring cameras are filming us constantly. There's traffic cameras. Every business has a camera, but they couldn't just play that on TV without your consent. And we talked earlier, like a couple weeks ago, maybe that documentary about like that's all ring crime, the worst neighbor, or like all ring cameras and everything, or cop cameras, where like there are people who said, no, I don't want to be in this, and their faces are blurred out, right? Like they can't do that without their consent. But the raw footage, the cops and stuff have access to with everybody in it.
Yeah.
We have her continuing to talk, and as she's doing so, the dean of the school, Dean Martin, walks in. I thought it was funny too, just because it's like 2 Rat Pack references in like the first minute of the show. I was like, is this going to be like a running theme? Like is the rival school going to be like Frank Sinatra? Like I was like, what's going on here?
I just think someone figured out the joke of Sammy Davis Sr. Jr. was so funny that they were like, the dean would be Dean Martin. And they were like, okay, well, we won't go any further than that, but those 2 jokes work so well together, we can't not do it.
Dean Martin was always my favorite Rat Pack member.
I want to say, oh man, I'm a little tied with him and Sammy.
Nobody that watches the show cares. Move on.
What are you talking about?
I agree with Ferg.
Sammy Davis Jr. in the 60s.
No, you
the
say
Church
that because you guys have no Rat Pack knowledge. That's the only reason.
Yeah, that's why.
New York, right, boys? Sinatra.
All right, fine.
Jay and I are starting a second
podcast. Did anyone have
podcast.
a coffee today?
Yeah.
Dean Martin walks in. He's saying like, hey, listen, I have to show you something that was sent to me that's a little bit disturbing. He shows her this video of her at the team's victory party. And then like they cut to it. And like they do the thing too where it's like they show it where it's like all blacked on the side so it looks like a vertical camera video. I like that, but Joe, your fandom of the show aside, do you not like this? Because usually you don't like when things reference modern technology.
No, I'm okay with this because it is
a show that he likes.
No.
It's all it is. It's all it is.
No, this is not like you could tell me what a text is. I don't need to see it. Like if you're going to show the person, somebody took a video on their phone, it is what would happen, right? Like it looks true to what it would be. I don't love any cell phone thing, but this is obviously like the way people are going to see this is through the phone, and putting it sideways at least is the extra mile to say like this is exactly what it would look like. If you're doing a documentary, I feel like that makes things different. If a fucking text bubble popped up, I would be so against the show.
See, I don't mind the text bubbles because I feel like when you have phone conversations, you have the benefit of at least half the conversation being told to you. So now, like, as long as it's not done in an annoying way, like a quick, like, whoop, and they show a text, like, that doesn't bug me.
Just put text on the bottom, like you're doing like you're watching a movie with subtitles on. Like, you don't need to have a little whoop, like that's pop-up video noise, especially. I can't do it.
I don't mind it. But anyway, so we cut to the footage. Basically, it's like their party. They're all celebrating, and it's like some like barbecue celebration party. And you just have her basically drunk, being like, all right, and the award for the best booty goes to, and that's all they really show, but you can see she's
I thought
drunk
this was
and
a little
partying.
like, they made it sound like this was going to be like worse. And I get why you can't do that in someone of her position, but I thought it was going to be a little racier.
Yeah, I kind of feel like that was a little bit of a misstep too, because you
I
as
disagree.
the viewer, I think all feel like that's not a big deal.
It's contributing to the delinquency of minors that you're put in charge of.
But they're in college, so they shouldn't be drinking, but they're not minors.
But I think that why I like this is because if you were to take the episode of The Office for the Dundies, right, and put it in 2026, Michael can't give any of those awards out for the most part, right, without getting in huge trouble with the company.
Some of them you could do. You can't give out the bushiest beaver award.
Sure, but like I think Best Booty Award would get you fired now from any job. Like you can't do that. So I think it works, especially if we're doing the pass the torch from the old era of mockumentary shows to the new one on NBC. Like this is what Michael Scott used to do, and everyone thought it was funny when he was doing fucking Ping. But now you couldn't do Ping then, you'd get fired. But now if you did Ping, you'd really get fired. And I think this is like, you would get fired for this. So it sets the show on its course.
Well, it's funny because like the dean's argument too is like, listen, you shouldn't be drinking with the team, which I think is the more important thing here. And then he kind of said, and you certainly shouldn't be body shaming your cheerleaders. And she's like, what? I would have killed to win best booty back in my day. So even though it's like, I guess a positive, I don't know. Would you consider that body shaming?
No.
Not at all. But I think the argument there, though, is like if there's 20 people and you give one person the best booty, then 19 others have the worst booty.
Well, if you're not first, you're last. Sure.
Or you give them all participation booty awards then.
Yeah.
That said, I don't think any of us are winning best booty awards, so I would take it in a heartbeat and I'd be very happy.
I'd likely get worse booty. I have no butt.
Yeah, very
Same.
flat, mine.
I don't really have much of a butt.
Well, by default, I have too much butt. So
Jay wins best booty award. Yeah. Congratulations.
So we cut to her now, like after that interaction, and she's addressing the team in the gym. I don't know why, but this phrase got me. I thought this was really funny when she goes, "So I have been asked to be fired."
Yeah.
I laughed very hard at that
fun.
as well. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Also,
very good writing.
Though, I think because she's so successful, I don't think she'd be fired.
Realistically,
Unless that
how
went-
sports tend to go, yeah, this would be like not a full-on firing.
Unless
It would be
that
like
went
a suspension
viral or something,
or
like the parents complained.
Yeah,
or...
that's kind of my thing with this. Like, this is like a whole huge plot device, isn't it? Like, this is like the reason the show exists, and we'll get into it, but like she's like starting fresh, and like the reason behind it, I thought was like really flaky.
She's the main character. You can't make her do something so awful that you can't root for her the rest of the show. So they needed to fire her, but it
I
couldn't
get
have
that
been egregious.
too. Yeah.
But I will say too, from a work perspective, if you think of, okay, she's been there a really long time. She's the most winningest coach they have. She's probably making a lot of money and asking for a raise every year that she wins. And if you're looking at budget and you go, well, Tammy is the assistant coach. She probably knows everything she does. She can probably take over for way less. Now we have a reason to boot
That
this person out
doesn't
and save a bunch
matter,
of
though.
money.
Playing for her would bring other athletes in, and it funds the program. They wouldn't fire her no matter how much
That's
she
how
asked
college
for.
programs typically work. I do think, like, we already kind of question the idea of, like, is what she did bad enough to get fired? When you throw that extra ripple of, like, considering her level of success, that does even make it a little more hard to believe. And I do think, like, the video was funny, but, like, maybe they should have found some. I don't think this is a make or break for the show, obviously, but, like, to get to this point, and we're only like 2 minutes into the show, they probably could have found something a little bit better to be the reason why she got fired.
Like maybe
I would say that.
make her actually body shame her. Tell her to take diet pills or something. Like, you can't tell a kid to take diet pills again.
Yeah, they maybe should have made it a little more aggressive. But to Jay's point too, they never took away OJ's fucking pension, and he mucked up 2 people, right? Like, if you're a winning champion in a sport, they really look after you.
There's so many things that they could have argued. You say, like, you ride that line, right? Because, like, if she starts feeding them all diet pills, then it kind of makes her evil, right? What if she showed up too hungover after that party the next day, went to the school gym, accidentally went into the wrong locker room to shower, and then, like, the whole football team saw her naked? You know what I mean? And then you can be like, oh, you expose yourself to all the boy students or something like that, but it was unintentional. So, like, something like that, like, I think would maybe play better.
I feel like that would be,
yeah.
You'd have to do the thing with Boone, though, to make that weird, because it feels like Boone would be mad about that.
Obviously, with the news that she's being fired, everybody's in shock. Her assistant coach, Tammy, is just, like, full-on sobbing as if she, like, lost a loved one. And that's Kristen Chenoweth, who's, like, she's done a ton of stuff. She's probably the, like, most famous person going into this show.
Yeah, I would say she's had, like, probably like a 30-year career almost at this point, probably, right?
So,
of being, like, that we would know who she was and stuff. She's in Broadway and TV and movies. She's in albums.
Yeah, so she's sobbing, and she walks up to Courtney, and she's like, I need you to be strong. She's like, I'm trying. And then one of the girls, Crystal, stands up, and she's like, this is bullshit. I say if Courtney leaves, we all leave. And she's like, hey, no one's leaving. Well, I am. And then in the meantime, our best assistant coach, Tammy, is going to be taking over. And she's just like, no. And camera pans up, and we can just see that there's, like, this big screen that projects everything in the gym, like, to everybody. Like, you're in an arena, how there's always screens and stuff to watch. We get to Tammy's talking head. It's funny because, again, Kristen Chenoweth, she's a tiny human being.
4'11".
Wow.
You basically get her from, like, the nose up in the shot. This is one of those jokes, like you say, like, has that kind of Parks and Rec type of humor. He's like, excuse me, coach is tiny? She's like, first of all, it's pronounced Istony. So obviously it's funny that the tiny girl's last name is Istony, spelt is tiny.
And step up too, right? Like another second joke about.
Yeah, because he asked her to step up, and she's like, oh yeah, of course I'm going to step up. Like, I'm going to, I'm going to take over the team, and, reluctantly I'm going to have to. He's like, no, can you just step up? And it pans down, and there's like a step stool for her to get onto.
I prefer Step Up 2, The Streets.
The best of all the Step Up movies. Was there a Step Up TV show?
I don't
put that into the universe.
Movies. There was like
it feels
4.
insane. I wouldn't try to push that
ask
into
your
a TV
brother;
show.
he'll know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to phone in my brother, who's a big advocate for the franchise.
It's so funny that he would text you back immediately with a yes or no, and we'd have to take it as like gospel truth. He would know so well.
In a curious, I can't figure out way, enjoys the Step Up movies the way Joe enjoys the Fast and Furious movies, and I can't quite make sense of it. Which I guess would only tie for the fact that Ferg likes black beans. which is always the curious thing about knowing his diet of mac and
Everyone's
cheese and chicken fingers. So now we get Courtney at home, and she's with her husband, Boone, who we already said, Taran Killam. She's like, can you believe that? Like, I'm a scandal because of the dumb videotape. And then he's like saying like, all right. And he has this like, I'm not used to hearing him talk with any type of Southern like accent, but this is always tricky, right? When I hear someone do a Boston accent, I'm like, this sounds terrible. I don't know if Southerners think that his accent's shitty, but I thought it sounded good. So I don't know how to gauge that for other people.
Yeah, it's always tough when it's not a region you're from. We're like, I don't know, I bought it.
So those of you in the South, let us know. He's saying like, all right, timeout, flag on the play. And then he's saying like, hey, you know, you haven't taken any time off in the last 20 years. Maybe this is a good thing. Take a little time off for yourself. Like maybe we can start a little team of our own. And we get his talking head and he's like, Coach and I were high school sweethearts. And he got a scholarship to play QB at Texas Tech, but the Lord had other plans. And we cut to a quick clip of him getting just like a complete super concussion.
Yeah, just like a full on, like, I forget his name. There was the wrestler when we were kids who was like a jobber wrestler who would take like the full backflip bump when he got
Doomsday Device.
The Doomsday Device, yeah. And, like, that's what he does. He basically gets hit like over his shoulders and does a full flip onto
Spike
his head.
Dudley.
Yeah, it's fucking brutal.
After they show the clip, it's like, yeah, after I woke up and learned to, what's the word? Talk again. And then he asked Courtney to marry him, and he got a job coaching at Sammy Davis Senior Junior College, and she coached cheer. And did I tell you about my head injury?
I couldn't believe how in disguise he was. Like, for like the first half of this episode, I didn't even think it was him.
Yeah.
I was like, and then something, I forget what scene it was. I was like, wait, is that Taran Killam? Like, I had to look it up. Like, I can't believe how different he looks. It blew me away.
He's just a really good actor, too. If you think of he's so good in Single Parents, a show we covered probably 2 years ago, too, which is like another very different character. Also, is he one of the very few people who was both on, I'm sure we talked about it then, but both on Mad TV and SNL? That's a very small Venn diagram.
Yeah, because he was on that like real tail end of Mad TV.
Yeah.
Not as impressive as being on all that and SNL, okay?
Well, when you're on all that and then SNL for 25 years.
Yeah, you get to be on SNL until you die.
Yeah.
And somehow he didn't get any better.
I've heard a lot of arguments, but I think he does a lot of things that are funny. I think he plays a phenomenal, Kenan Thompson we're talking about, by the way. I think plays a phenomenal David Ortiz. I know it's been a while since he's been David Ortiz.
I forgot he played.
But he nailed David Ortiz.
He has a thing. I think he's like adjusted into the like, I have a thing. People laugh when I make a certain type of joke in a certain way. And like, it works. So like, I get it. I don't know, man. If I was him, I'd be like, yeah, stay forever.
I've been waiting legit over 20 years of him on SNL to like, just let him do like a character that he did on all that once or twice as a little wink.
Pierre Escargot needs to come back.
Let's see Pierre Escargot.
The only thing that needs to come back.
If he did when there's a new James Bond movie, if he comes out as Coldfinger and just says, my finger's really cold, I would give him $1,000. I would be so fucking happy.
Come on, Lorne Michaels. Let's see Bag'em Sag'em Barry.
Or Ishbu.
Sag'em Barry. Okay, just real quick. When was the last time any of you watched all that?
I don't want to because I know it sucks from this
been a minute.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's how fucking deep those characters are in our brains, that we're all talking about this with total recall. It has to at least have been 20 years, 25 years?
Yeah, more. Yeah,
more?
25 plus.
30?
Yeah.
No, we've been out of school for more than 20 years. It's way more than that.
Again, Kenan's been on SNL for over 20 years.
Right, but that's what I'm saying, like, how funny and how well all that sketches, like, fucking took, that we're here, we all threw a different one out and all started laughing because we all remembered them, and that was that long ago.
They were the perfect for the demographic. Like, we were at that age, like, they nailed it. They figured it out.
Pizza Face feels like a very SNL character now, too. Who was Pizza Face? Was that...
that was Kel.
That was Kel, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That was during the Earboy sketches.
Yes.
This is really big.
Yeah. So, anyways,
Next
Kenan's
podcast,
not in this
guys.
show.
We're
We have to
rewatching
get
all
to
that.
Kenan had a sitcom that lasted 8 seconds called Kenan. We have to cover eventually.
Well, they also had Kenan and Kel, which is a sitcom.
Sure, but
Kristen Chenoweth also had a 2001 sitcom called Kristen that lasted for one season, which is something I feel like we should probably try to find.
oh yeah, we can dig into that too. Anyways, I do want to say, like, in closing with that last scene with Boone, like, while he's telling the whole story too about his head injury and all this other stuff, I like there was a lot of details, like he has his brain scan, like, mounted. Like, what a weird thing to, like, this is from when I got my severe concussion that took away my football career. Like, and he has it, like, mounted like it's a trophy.
By the way, does he have something in his brain? Because I could see it from far away. It looked like there was, like, a nail in his head.
It was just, like, probably, like, the... Like
they probably put, like, a plate or something. I didn't give it a close look because it's kind of like, there's a lot of detail going on around there. So, like, they showed that. They showed his broken helmet, like some of the newspaper clippings. But
they do go deep later in the season about that and more of the injury stuff and more of the things that he saves from the injuries, including his testicles. Because, not to cut ahead to, like, let you know, but, like, what I love about this show is that, like, they show that clip of him getting hit. They just keep adding on to it. So that clip is actually, like, 30 seconds long. So as the season goes on, you just keep seeing what happens 5 seconds later and 5 seconds later, and it just keeps getting worse and worse to him. So when you find that out, you're like, I would save that brain scan too, because if you're able to have a functional life again, it's pretty good.
What I'll say too is, like, just hearing that from you, like, again, without jumping ahead, it's always nice to know that, like, a show's written in a way where they're not just thinking about in the moment. So to know that they, like, made that thinking, like, oh, this can be something else, but let's save this for that, and, like, have, like, a more, like, extended plan for a season's always nice.
Yeah, to be like to go into it, I think, like anything, right? Like, you should go into this thinking we're going to do 12 episodes. We're not going to do 2 and get canceled. We're going to write this whole story out and play these jokes out.
Right.
It's way better to do it that way. And it sucks if you get canceled, but, like,
you have to do it that way. In my opinion, if you're doing it the other way, you're going to fail and you deserve to.
Yeah.
Yeah. You front load stuff and then you're going to sputter at the end.
That's why every Netflix one sucks. Every Netflix sitcom.
Yeah,
That's exactly
we talked about it.
Yeah.
The two of them are talking. She's like, all right, I need this, my legacy. Like, it can't just be this best booty award thing now. I have to win one more championship. She's like, and then after that, like, I'll retire. And then her phone goes off. She goes, I got a job interview. He's like, oh, touchdown. And we find out it's some...
if you're one away from being the world, you can't just stop there.
I get it. Yeah. You got to at least give it a shot, especially, like, it's not like she's one away but has lost the last 10 years. She's like, she would have most likely won one this year.
And this is competition, right? There's, like, a competitive spirit people.
Sure.
They're gonna keep going. It isn't just like us being like...
Especially when you're a coach.
Done,
when
whatever.
You're a coach, your time that you can stay around is much longer than a player. Like, obviously, college players, it's a little different because you literally have to get out after X amount of years.
Yeah.
But, like, any athlete in any sport, like, you're going to age out of it. But when you're a coach and you are chasing after these things, like, if it takes you 20 years, so be it. It takes me 20 years. I'll stick around until I get it. She's talking about this interview opportunity she has, and she says it's a small junior college in Oklahoma. It's like 80 miles away. It's like, that's what, 50 minutes by pickup truck? Easy.
Can you imagine driving 80 miles back and forth every day for work? Holy shit.
But again, with her success rate, I feel like job opportunities would be coming left and right from better schools.
And closer.
Yeah, typically you would think so, but this is the first interview she got, at least, and
I mean, we've all driven.
like,
I've driven to you guys, and you've driven to here. That's 90 miles. And that sucks. It's a shitty drive to do twice in a day.
To do every day, yeah.
To do that 5 days a week.
I mean, there are plenty of people who have commutes like that. Like, I
People
know
do it.
there's people who work where I work, working at the airport
Same.
that, like, come from Maine, come from Rhode Island. Like, it's not uncommon.
I couldn't do it. I can say that with full,
Yeah.
unbridled
I have no
confidence.
desire to do it.
I could
You
not
always
do
see
it.
those people and you say, was nothing better? Was there nothing better in your area?
No,
I get the money,
just
though, right? If you're coming to
calculate the
Boston
amount of
from
time.
The amount of gas money you spend makes it not worth it, even if it's a job with good pay.
Well, that's why there's
Yeah.
commuter trains too, though, right? Like, if I wanted to work in Boston right now, I could take the train from my town to Boston every day back and forth, right? And not pay for gas, and you can get, like, a discount because you're, like, a constant traveler or whatever. That's a fucking nightmare still, right? Like, it's not about the money at that point. It's just, like, your life. You're leaving. If you have a 9 o'clock job, you're leaving at 7, and you're getting home at 7.
I'd rather get hit by that train.
I agree.
She's like, what's the name of this college? And they're both trying to pronounce it, and like, hell. And it cuts to like almost like a promotional video about the town.
This feels very Parks and Rec, by the way, when they cut to like
For sure. Because this reminds me of Sweetums.
Yeah, this is very much a Sweetums scenario. Also, candy buttons, I did look this up. They were actually not German. They were U.S. invention. And the company who saved them from going out of business was Necco in Boston.
Oh.
I think I knew that, actually. Also,
I did know that those were...
candy buttons are awful.
Yeah, they're an awful candy. They picked the perfect candy.
Yeah, it makes you just eat paper.
Heådlston is where she's heading now, and Heådlston apparently is world famous for being where the candy button factory is. They also have the Candy Button Factory and Gift Shop and Museum. It's open every day except Christmas and Tuesday. Courtney's sitting in the office of the president of Heådlston State Junior College, Dana Nitwick.
I felt like there was a joke here that I didn't get. It was like,
I was
trying to
like,
say
Nitwick's...
nitwit. Is it something I'm not smart enough to understand here?
Well, I think just laughed because it's a funny name.
Yeah. So yeah,
I mean, that's fair too.
There might be something there because it just feels like they would have done that. But yeah, I didn't catch it at least. He's looking at her resume and he's like, there's an awful lot of cheerleading on here. She's like, isn't that the job? Well, no, it's for a typing teacher who also happens to be the cheerleading coach, which is funny because it's just a way to get her to teach that class, really, you know?
Yeah.
I do love that, like the backdoor way in to get somebody in. And also the typing class is typewriters. I love that it's a typing class on typewriters.
I didn't even notice.
Yeah, there's no computers. They're all on like
old typewriters. There was a time, like when I was in elementary school, we had a typewriter in the house, and I did some reports on typewriters.
I did too. Yeah, I had one of those electronic ones.
I mean, our good friend Mike, R.I.P., was like, he wrote everything on a typewriter. You'd get a note from him in the mail with like some very sweet thing he thought about you for.
Well, he was born 80 years old, so you have to keep that in mind.
He also still read the physical newspaper.
If you remember, typing on a typewriter versus a keyboard is such a different experience because those keys are so big. So you push down in such a different way. One of my biggest pet peeves, which is funny because I'm always on a laptop, is on a normal desktop keyboard, when people leave the little stands down so the keyboard lays flat, I hate typing that way.
Who would ever want to, on a flat keyboard?
It happens all the time.
A serial killer.
Somebody who doesn't use a keyboard enough does that.
That's someone who's checking their AOL email. It's like, I just gotta check this real quick.
Meanwhile, like, I'm doing everything I can to be as ergonomic as possible because my fucking wrists are falling apart from typing so much.
Maybe a standing desk would make it different. I've never used one. I want one.
I want one of those desks from Grandma's Boy where he's just like laying down and typing.
That must be so good for your back, though.
Does my music scare you?
A movie way funnier than it has any right to be.
It's supposed to look like he's in the Matrix chair.
Yeah, he's like floating.
The Matrix, a movie that I fucking hate. I talked about this the other day. Do not get the love for The Matrix. That movie does not age well.
You know, Joe, typically I would disagree with you here, but as somebody who caught a portion of one of the first two movies recently, I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, because I remember enjoying them, right?
Yeah,
at the time that they came out.
The first one's great.
So here's the thing I'll give The Matrix. The actual story is great. Like the ethos.
Yeah, the plot of The Matrix is really interesting.
Thank you. I cannot think of the word plot. The plot is great, but just kind of like everything in between is just like a little ridiculous. Yeah.
The only other thing I want to say about The Matrix too is phenomenal flavor of Powerade came out for it in the time that I was a big fan of.
What was this? It was like apple and something else.
Yeah,
right?
some green
weird
flavor
broccoli.
I really liked.
Do they still make Powerade?
Yeah, it exists. It's still not as good as Gatorade, but it still exists.
I don't know why they're still making it. Like, who's buying Powerade?
Yeah,
they survived. Strange. They're people who like Powerade.
Is there one?
No, there isn't. There are people who have to buy Powerade because there's no Gatorade available. That's the only
it's
people
not like
who
it's
buy
cheaper.
Powerade.
It exists.
I feel like those are
but it
both
doesn't
for
taste
teenagers
good.
who are hungover. Like, I can't imagine buying a Powerade at this point in my life.
They were the first ones to like.
Powerade.
They came out and they survived. Because you had all the other ones there was a point in the 90s where like a bunch of companies were like, Gatorade's cornering the market. We have to get in on this sports drink game. Powerade comes out, 10K comes out, All Sport comes out, and like all the others failed. Powerade still existing today. Because I think Powerade's owned by Coke. So like they have like.
I think it was a Coke versus Pepsi, so you could push the two, yeah.
I do remember in middle school we had a Powerade machine, but it was only, if I remember, it was only in the gym area. So like for lunch, I have to like walk all the way to the gym and get my Arctic Blast Powerade.
Why would I go over there when we had Fruitopia machines?
But the Coke machine was open all day long in the cafeteria because I had a Coke every day. Looking back, I'm like, that's not what kids should have for
You
fucking
did
lunch.
drink way too much Coke. No wonder your stomach sucks now. You're chugging McDonald's Coke at fucking 7:30 in the morning every day as a 12-year-old. Like,
is that why you give Gordo such a hard time? You're trying to save him.
Yeah.
Like, I know how much Gordo's tummy means to him. I don't want him to be so sad that he can't have the food and the experiences he wants with it, yeah.
Courtney's telling the president of the school, like, listen, I need to win a championship this year. I can, I will, I must. And when we do, I can bring enough money to get you a truckload of those candy buttons, because he's been gnawing on one the entire interview. So he's like sitting there thinking, and then we cut to her. She's in front of this like giant calendar, and she's showing like, okay, this is when the Nationals are at Daytona, and we have almost 6 weeks from today to get there. Then she's like, the day before that, we have something called the show off. And she's explaining that the show off is like, you show off your routine. And this is like basically a giant practice in front of people. She's like, and then here, well, that's my birthday. Like, you know, we don't have to really get into that, but like, since I'm here drawing, like I might as well put a little party hat. It's like, oh shoot, I'm drawing that little cat I know how to do. And she puts that in the birthday box too.
This does become a recurring thing too, by the way. It's her always drawing weird stuff in the board. So like they're trying to set that up here.
As she's doing it, the camera pans and we see that she's telling all this to her typing class and not a cheer group. And the girl's just like, are we supposed to be typing this, or?
If you can type that, you get an A.
Yeah, if you're just like being able to follow along. That would make more sense if it was a stenography class, because you could like shorthand type what she was saying.
Yeah.
And that's also like an actual...
But that's like a skill that I feel like you really need to know how to do to teach that.
Well, now I think it's gone. So if you look at like modern court cases, and I can say this because I worked in an office that was literally, we shared it with all the stenographers in the city, and they were all very sweet, but like older people, right? Like that's kind of gone now. I think it's a word to text thing now. If you look at like court cases now, like big court cases that are like, true crime or whatever.
They like talk into like,
they're
like
talking into like a thing
yeah.
like this, and it just reads it in. So like that, even like the knowledge of like that shorthand stenography typing, I think is pretty much an outdated science.
Can you really trust that? Because when I use the speak to text
talk to text
format,
or whatever,
it really fucking butchers some of the things I say.
I had to use one the other day for a work thing where I was trying to like brainstorm with somebody about like an email thread, and the like tool it was using, instead of just like giving me an output of like, this is everything you said, was like, this is how we think you should write that. And I was like, that's not helpful. I needed notes to then like go back and look at what we were talking about. Instead it like wrote out a draft like I was speaking to the fucking Queen of England. I was like, I can't do anything with this.
But another prime example, that's how Nick Nagoro exists.
Yeah.
That's true.
We get a screen that pops up, and this is like a running thing throughout the episode now. They're basically counting down until the show off. So now it's giving us the counter cheerleaders. We currently have 0 out of the 10 that's needed. We're 40 days out. And we get to an interview of her in the car, and Courtney's saying like what she needs to do is put together a new team. And she's starting at the top of the pyramid. Crystal. She was my star flyer, but I discovered her and I turned her into a cheer celebrity. And let's just say she owes me. While she's explaining that, we get the cut. We see she has like over 2 million followers on like Instagram and like brand deals and all this stuff. And this is all a result of her cheering career. And we cut to Crystal seeing Courtney in the hall, like when Courtney drives back to Sammy Davis Senior Junior High. And she's all screaming and exciting. She's like, oh, what are you doing? And she's like, all right, like keep this on the down low. But remember how you said if I left, you would also leave? She's like, yes. Even though this is my third and final senior year at a 2-year college, making this the most important year of my life, I will follow you anywhere. She's like, okay, I'm starting a new program at a tiny school with an unpronounceable name, and I want to build that program around you. You're my star flyer, Crystal. Like, what do you say? And she goes, I say no, but thank you. Go get him. And then
Proper
she like
response.
leaves.
Again, 80 miles away every day.
Just for that. And she like, when she says no, she also like, she goes to head back into the gym, but she can't help but like wink to the camera and do like a little drop down thing. Her character, I know this is like the intention, and I feel like this is probably not, I wanted to, I forgot. I wanted to like look up an interview with her to hear her like natural voice, because I got to assume this is a voice that she's just putting on for the character.
Oh, I didn't even think of that, yeah.
And if not, I apologize, but her voice was really like tough for me.
This has to be a put-on voice.
Hard.
There's no way that's her real voice. Yeah.
You know
It's
what it
almost
reminded me of? It reminded me of Joey Lauren Adams, like circa.
I could have thought like Chasing Amy era Joy Lauren
Yeah,
Adams,
exactly.
yeah.
Chasing Amy.
Her voice though is like kind of like when a person makes fun of the Kardashians.
Yeah.
Like not
right.
necessarily how they actually talk, but like when you do the impression of them, like that's how you talk.
It's influencer voice.
And again,
So-
why does OJ come up twice in one episode?
I don't know. He's come up several times in this episode.
That's
Of
what I'm
our
saying, because
podcast.
he's one of the Kardashians' dads, right?
Not quite.
He is. Who's the Kardashian who's like the one who looks different than all of them, who's clearly
No.
OJ's daughter?
The main Kardashians, the three original sisters before she remarried, their father.
I know, Jay.
was-
What he's
was-
saying though
No,
is
no,
there's
yeah.
always been a rumor that Khloe Kardashian is actually OJ's
Oh, yeah, I don't...
Look at Khloe Kardashian, look at David Kardashian, and then look at OJ, and tell me what you think.
She doesn't look the same now. They've all morphed into one human
Well, that's
body.
different. They've all amalgamated into whatever the fuck 2026 is, but...
And, all right, I was like, that's weird that you don't know this. Okay.
Jay was just about to start explaining the Kardashian genealogy.
No, look at me knowing something about popular culture Jay doesn't know.
Yours is weird OJ rumors that I don't think are factually true. So
Nick knew it
I'm not
too.
going to hit you with pop culture stuff. Courtney needs a minute now because she's thrown for a loop. She thought she had like her star that was going to join her. And she's like, can I just have a minute talking to the camera? Like, and you just see her like freaking out in the hallway with the camera like spying on her. And she's just like, it doesn't, what she's saying doesn't even make sense. Like at one point she just yells out Dale Earnhardt.
That's like the one thing that isn't bleeped. So in a tirade of a Christmas Story level swearing that's hanging over the ozone layer, the one thing that's not a swear is Dale Earnhardt. Fucking love that so much.
And then like right after her, she's like freaking out, like it cuts and she's like peeking into the gym and she can see that like, it's weird. The camera for the documentary somehow is the feed for the screen in the gym.
Like the Titantron over the gym.
It's that's like a weird, like one of those, like don't overthink it because it makes zero sense. It's like you have to like give them the pass on it.
It's kind of messed up because, I mean, I know what the future is on this show, but the other coach is her friend and she's trying to poach one of her best players.
Yes. Competitive sport. You know what I mean? It's like, it's just one of those like that gets the best of you.
Yeah. Like Tom Brady refusing to trade, what's his name to us?
Max Crosby and his bad knees, but still, yeah. No, and then it's also one of those things though, but like we see that with like Tammy too though, right? As the episode goes on, and we'll talk about it soon, but like she becomes more competitive. She didn't even want to like be the person in charge of the team, but once you get your footing and now you are the main person, like things change a little bit. And we'll see a little bit of that in the future. We're back to Courtney at her school. So she drove an hour and a half back to her school, or it could be the next day. And now she's getting ready for cheer tryouts. And she's like, you know what? It's fine. At my last tryout at Sammy Davis Senior Junior College, I had 75 people show up. I only need to take 10. So it's going to be a big day. And she's all excited. And then we get like a little flash forward and nobody's there. And she's dead asleep, like hunched over on the table. And we get another little flash forward. And it's which is weird because it's only 2 seconds ago. It's like, do y'all smell that? And then we flash forward again. Now she's on the phone with her old assistant, Tammy. She's like, hey, it's me. And she's like, oh, Courtney, you're alive. I feared the worst. Like, she's been gone for a couple days. First off, she was just at your school yesterday and everyone seemed to see it because it was on a big screen. She's like, no, I'm fine. She's asking about the team. And she's like, terrible. Like me, we're all puddles. Meanwhile, she's just sipping on her Slurpee.
That noise too, they do such a good job of making her like straw cup noise so fucking infuriating. Like, you hear that noise, it like just drills into you.
Courtney's asking Tammy, like, I was wondering if you had any extra cheerleaders. They locked me out of the system. So she can't, like, go through which obviously got fired. And she's like, oh no, I'm not near my computer right now. And she, like, closes her laptop as if she's on, like, a video call so she can't see it. You know, like I said, like, you go from, like, she would die for this woman to being like, oh, I'd like to help you, but.
I don't want to overthink it, but it's what we do. Why would the documentary team
be there? Yeah. Shows like this, you can never question those things. Yeah. These like, if you think about The Office. So like, you basically have cameras chasing all of these guys 24/7. Like, how big was this crew?
Yeah.
But they got so much home footage of people, you know, it's like, early Office was better about it because it was a lot of like speakerphone stuff.
Yeah.
What's crazy in season 9 of The Office too, when like the commercials pop up and they're like a 10-night event or whatever, you're like, wait, you're going to take 9 seasons of the show we just watched and make it 10 episodes? Like, that's insane to think of, like, what would be cut out.
Hey, I watched the documentary about Guar. You got 40 years. They got to get it in an hour and a half.
This is my issue. Like, I think documentaries are different. You can do it better, but I think that we see all these biography, like, movies with people where it's like, this is 70 years of a person's life. Like, you just can't do that in one movie. It doesn't work that way. That's why band movies are always terrible. You see that a lot with, especially with all like the biopics that come out. You can't cover a whole life, so you have to kind of pick like what's the main story and like what area of it's actually like I just heard like the Osbournes are talking because they've been in works for years to do a movie about Ozzy. And like it didn't just start when he passed, like this has been a plan. And they're like still like tweaking the script because they're like, we can't cover his whole life in one movie. So we have to figure out
yeah, what's the story we want to run with, and like, where's the starting and stopping point? Because there has to be.
It's always musicians. The movies never work well, where it's like, oh, I think we should call the band Queen. I'm dying. Like, that was 2 minutes. What happened right there? Yeah.
I specifically remember when he tells the rest of the band, he goes, I have the AIDS. And it's just like, is this really how it went down? You just like pronounced it like that?
No, we're at Live Aid.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, it just jumps so much.
That was one of those ones that got like the most flack for being like, this isn't how this happened at all, because the band had way too much influence on the movie.
Ignoring that, though, I think Rami Malek did a great job.
I thought it was a good movie.
He did, yeah.
He did good, yeah.
I thought it was a good movie, but it was one of those ones where, like, no offense to Queen. Queen's a phenomenal band. They're one of the most iconic bands of like that day, and like still to this day, you know, like hold a very top tier place in like music history. But like the rest of the band's like, what about us? And it's like, guys, no offense, but like even in your heyday, Freddie Mercury was the guy everyone knew. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
outside of like real like musicians, like no one could name the other members of Queen unless you were like a music obsessed person.
I can't. Adam Lambert.
Yes.
I will say this though, as somebody who's played in bands before, like, if a band I just played bass in, not even fucking that, if, say, Taylor Swift, for instance, messaged me tomorrow and said, hey, I'm going on tour, and I need a new bass player, do you want to play bass in my band? No one will ever know who you are, but you make a fuck ton of money playing music. Even music you do not like. I'd be like, of course, it's like the dream for music. It's
Sure,
music,
Queen's a little different because they were writing their music. It was like, they were all the people behind all the songs. It wasn't like
they wrote all
Freddie
the songs and
Mercury
made
wrote-
all the money.
Yeah.
Why are you mad? Yeah, like I get it. And like Brian May is a great guitar player. Seems like a pretty cool guy.
Yeah.
And like I know his name. I'm like, that should be enough. Right? Like,
He's
some
the
people know
only
who you
other
are,
one I know.
You know?
But it's like, it's legacy. It's like, you want to feel like there's got to be some sort of a like jealousy that comes along with that when you see like the one guy be the whole, like what everyone sees in the band and no one even thinks of you. Like there's got to be something that like certain people are built different, right? So like seeing someone rise to that and you not being there and you feel like, but I wrote all the songs. Why am I not seen in the same regard? Like, I get it.
It's not like the Beatles where you know every member.
Yeah.
Or even
Right,
like
yeah.
a Guns N' Roses, you know, most of the members. Like,
You know,
everyone
pretty
goes
much all the
Slash.
members for Guns N' Roses. Like, I think that,
Of the
They-
original Guns N'
casual
Roses, I don't
people.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
Izzy was the coolest looking one. He wore this hat.
oh, the lady military hat.
Not a lady military hat.
Yeah.
The cool hat, like Bob Dylan and Izzy and me. I'm as cool as Bob Dylan and goddamn Izzy Stradlin.
So
I'm kicking my legs right now like a little kid when I said that. It was like, I feel like such a
I'm
child.
cool. This phone call ends and the dean shows up and he's like, hey, by the way, like, we have your picture up on the Jumbotron. Like, if you want to check it out. She like looks over and
Just
like
her
from her office. Yeah. You could pan out and it oversees the gym. And it's that same like talking head kind of shot of her, just like nose up.
Funny joke, but why would you use that in reality? It's like, all right, can you
Yeah,
step
I
back?
thought the
We
same
can't
thing.
see.
Yeah, it's like just a bad camera person at that point.
Now we're back to the tryouts. Heather saying like, you know, day one was a little slower than I hoped, but I did find that mystery smell. So I'll count that as a win. And what was it? A possum?
Yeah, dead possum.
I think so, yeah.
An old possum.
Which does like, she did have that like, what's that smell moment earlier. So apparently there's been a dead possum in the gym this whole time.
I thought the joke was she farted, but she was alone. She got a
Yeah,
blast.
I thought so too. And then the possum came out. I was like, oh, it was actually a smell.
Do you guys miss Gordo? Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
I had a doctor appointment today. It's like in town, so I walked there. And as I was walking, kind of like scanning the ground as you walk, whatever, and I looked, and there was just a fucking squirrel tail. No blood,
Ugh.
no rest of the body, just a separated squirrel tail. I was like, what fucking happened here?
It
Like, whatever it is.
it narrowly missed getting hit by a car that took its tail.
I have a
not,
similar
you know.
story to that. One
I've seen a
winter-
squirrel without a tail.
Same. One winter, one ran under my mother's car. She took its tail off, and then the next year we saw the squirrel still running around with no tail.
Was our friend Christian in the back going, watch out?
Did the paramedics
That's way
come and
too
ask,
inside
is it
baseball.
hurt? Which is another fun Fergus story.
A girl walks in. I'll mention she's notably on the heavy side, which as a fellow heavy, I'm only bringing up because it's very deliberate and it comes up in the episode.
Yeah, it's meant
So
to throw you.
It's
as
something
to,
you're
like, her,
supposed to notice about her.
her sports ability.
Yeah. So Heather's like, can I help you? This girl's name's Madonna in the show. And she's like, I'm the Heådlston cheer squad. She's like, just you? She's like, yeah. It's like, all right, well, let's see what you can do. And she's like, all right. And then she's like doing her thing.
And she does like actual sports cheerleading.
Yeah. And granted, she's alone, so there's only so much she could do, but she's like moving.
Sure.
She has like, on a technical level, I guess like her dance moves look precise from my stupid eye. Heather's like, hey, I'm going to stop you right here. Like, it's great. I love your energy, but I'm looking for tumblers and stumblers, like real gymnast type stuff. And then she's like, all right, hold on. Cue the music, please. And then now this girl's doing flips and all the shit you would have expected her to do. So she's a legit gymnast. And again, the whole thing is like a book, don't judge a book by its cover kind of situation with her.
It's impressive. I wish I could do flips and cartwheels like this.
You can, Joe. Just start practicing.
Yeah.
I've tried. I think we talked about this before. Like, my daughter is big on the tumble right now, the somersaults. So it's like, do one too. And every time I do one, it's like Ric Flair taking a bump where like, your back is so hard you can't do it the way a kid does it. So you gotta do it kind of sideways and like on a corner. There's no way. It's not happening anymore.
I just envisioned Joe like practicing like springboarding like down his driveway and slamming into his barbecue full of soup.
Yeah.
His neighbor's like the soup kids doing cartwheels.
Yeah.
Now.
Martha, he's doing it again. He's being weird.
I'm actually going to have to make you soup on the stove now.
I was promised soup on the stove when we came to the
You were
party,
never
and you didn't
promised
do it.
stove soup. You were
We
not.
have the
Go on,
footage.
roll the tape back.
We have
You
it.
pro-
So now Heather sees her go. It's like, wow, like you're a force of nature. How have you never competed before? It's like, I don't know. For some reason, no one ever gave me and she just passes out. And this is when we find out that she's also narcoleptic.
It seems like maybe the best debilitating disease to have because you can be like, I can't drive.
I disagree severely.
Yeah, that could really affect your life in
You
a really
can't
negative
like. I'd
way.
be afraid to go anywhere.
You can't use
But it gets you
stairs.
out of so many responsibilities.
Joe, as a big soup enthusiast, what about the constant fear of drowning?
The chicken noodle got him.
Dude, you know what's fucked up is that's definitely happened. A
I'm sure.
narcoleptic has
Possible.
100% drowned in soup. Like
That's in Deuce Bigelow, right?
It's just Bigelow. He ties her
Yeah.
hair.
Yeah.
Is it? I haven't seen that movie in God
Ball
knows how
hair.
long.
To be fair, the first one is still very funny. The second one's still very not funny.
When it cuts back to her, by the way, it's like, you just have Heather be like, are you dead or sleeping?
I'll say something about that, though. It's like, where's it stay out real fast? The whole narcolepsy joke. Throughout the series, I know we're not supposed to talk about going ahead, but they selectively use it.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a one-note joke, too, right? Like, you need to make it a character who doesn't get on the team to have the joke of it. Otherwise, you're stuck with it. You have to keep making that same joke, and it's hard to make that joke work over and over again.
That was kind of my thing with, if you remember back when we did Trial and Error, and Sherry Shepherd had just like a litany of problems that they kept revealing. I'm like, by the end of the episode, she had like 4 very big issues, and it was like, okay, this is going to be like too much to handle if we keep adding more and more things that are wrong with her.
One of the creators of the show, by the way, creator of Trial and Error.
No shit. I did not know
Well,
that.
there you go.
I bet I know which person decided to write this joke then. So
Couldn't the joke
that's
just have
funny.
been
I had
she's
no
a
idea.
fat cheerleader. Like, isn't that enough? But she has to be a narcoleptic fat cheerleader.
I think the joke should be that, like, you don't expect her to be good, and then she is.
Yeah, and
But,
she
like,
is.
Yeah.
It does appear, I didn't look into this, something I should have done. I understand that. It does appear that this actor is actually doing all of this work. Like, I think she is actually
There are
capable.
definitely some people on the show who are doing... I think you can tell, too, when you look up their credits, and there's no other credits, because, like, they find people who are acting
Yeah, right.
of a certain age, acting, and also gymnasts. Because there's a lot of close cuts in the show, and later episodes, too, where you're like, I see their face. I know it's really that person doing it, versus, like, the pull-away cuts of, like, a stunt person.
Yeah, they're doing this stuff. Meanwhile, I got stuck on my couch earlier. Like, I can't get up.
So now in the next scene, we have Courtney visiting Boone at football practice. He's like, oh, how was your first day of trials? She's like, well, I got a narcoleptic tumbler and a dead mama possum. They both made the team. He's like, oh, come here. And she's like, I'm fine. Like, I'm just worried, but, this means big things are going to happen. And then we get a Boone talking head because he just watched DeMarcus is like one of like the star players. And like, he was like kind of acting out a little bit in the play. He's like, throw it. What the hell are you doing, DeMarcus? And then in the interview, he's like, DeMarcus leads our team in rushing yards as well as unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. DeMarcus reminded me of Antonio Brown.
My brain said Deion Sanders.
Sure. Deion Sanders, I think, would be like also in that, like the way that he like looks at himself as like a star player.
And like the cocky running with the ball.
It would be more T.O. than anything.
Well, you know what did it for me is when we cut back, he's like, he's trying to explain him and he's like, he's just an ass. He's a straight up ass.
Yeah, he's an asshole. He's a straight up asshole.
Yeah. And then you get like back to the practice and he's like kind of yelling to Marcus, come on, man. And he's like, giving him all this. He's like, you know what? I quit. He's like taking all of his pads off and like running off. And it just, that reminded me of when Antonio Brown quit.
Oh,
like,
in Tampa.
And like just straight up mid game, like ripped his pads off and was like running off the field. So it was like, it made me, it harkened me to that picture. As he's trying to like run off, you have Courtney like, DeMarcus, wait. And like, she's going to like chase him. And Boone's like, don't do it. I know, but I'm doing it anyways. And she's just like, she's running after him. He's like, he's just going to break your heart. And she's like, DeMarcus, you dropped something. He's like, I don't need it. I said I quit because it was this like cleat. So she just like hucks it onto the field. And she goes, good, because I want you to cheer for me at my new school. And he's like, no, DeMarcus doesn't cheer for other people. And then she goes, well, it seems like DeMarcus doesn't play football either. And then explains like, this is an opportunity for you to dance, flip, toss girls in the air, and get all the attention you want without pissing people off. Sounds like the perfect job for you. And he goes, you don't know me. And then it cuts to his talking head. He goes, damn, that's my dream.
Does anybody else just wish they could do a backflip?
Yes.
This whole show, people are just like, I could do a standing backflip. You're like, we would all die if we tried to do that. But I would love to successfully pull that off.
If we were properly trained, I bet you we could learn.
I think I'm at a point where my ankles are just, I just want to be able to walk around and not feel pain.
No, man, I believe in you. You could do a backflip.
Well, if you stop doing super kicks.
Feet and ankles would just...
Yeah.
Like dust.
So now we see another screen, an update screen. So now it's like 6 cheerleaders out of 10, 24 days until the show off. Courtney's being interviewed while driving. She's like, all right, I currently have 6 cheerleaders. I have DeMarcus, Madonna, and 4 that I just found on TikTok. And you just like cut to said cell phone video of this TikTok, and it's like girls that are dancing extremely provocative. And it's like they even have to like blur out their crotches like in the dance that they're showing. Like
she mentions she bought them full cover underwear, so they're wearing crotchless underwear while making TikTok videos, I guess. So now she's saying how she needs to get like a veteran on the team. She talks about this kid Steven, who was one of her best bases back in the day. And you see like an old photo of him like when he was younger. And she's like, he left school his 4th sophomore year because there's no age limit at a junior college. She can still like bring him in because he didn't graduate. That takes us to her at Excelsior 2 car rentals. Did I read that properly? I think that's correct. Yeah. And
that's when we meet Steven. He sees her and he's like, her first impression is, Steven, you got to be a grown man. Like he was like I guess chubby for a cheerleader, but like not like,
and a shorter fella too.
Yeah. And he's like an adult, so he's not fit in that way anymore.
He's and like he didn't grow up into like a bigger kid. Like I think she,
like junior college. It's not like you have a growth spurt at 20. So like, I think she should have expected that part. He's like, I've been here for it's been 16 years since I saw you. And now I'm here. I've been on track for management. I really love it here. She's like, oh, because I'm putting together a team. That's why I came. And since you technically never graduated, he goes, I'll do it. Hey, everyone, fuck you. I quit.
And just a bunch of terrible cartwheels down the hallway. Yeah.
But again, I can't do that.
No.
So
I can do cartwheels, but
I couldn't do a cartwheel in my prime.
I can do a cartwheel. It's pretty much the only move I can still do.
I guess the guy who plays him, Ryan Pinkston, who plays Steven, in real life is like a really big, like, he's won like a lot of like Taekwondo championships and stuff like that. Like he's an accomplished martial artist.
He's one of these dudes, I know him from something. And
is it Young Rock?
No, it wasn't that. I can't figure out what I've gone through his IMDb. I'm going through it for probably the 3rd time right now. And I cannot.
Is it Soul Plane?
No.
Is it watching old Taekwondo competitions?
That's it. Yeah.
I will say though, in Young Rock, he has a very funny recurring character. He plays Downtown Bruno / Harvey Whippleman.
Oh, he's Harvey Whippleman?
Oh, he was in Quintuplets.
He's one of the kids on Quintuplets?
He's in 22 episodes.
I would guess then, yeah.
He might have been the undersized brother.
Oh man, he was one of the kids in Punk'd. Is that what I'm thinking of?
He was on Punk'd for a while, yeah.
That might be what I'm thinking of him in. That's weird though. It's one of those things. It's like there's nothing on his list, and I'm like, that's it, and it pisses me off when that happens.
You sure it wasn't Spy Kids? I know you love Spy Kids.
I have never seen Spy Kids. I don't think.
Liar.
We get like a little bit with him where he's explaining like cheer was the best part of his life, and Courtney straightened him out. She gave him the confidence that he could do anything, and he's like, and unfortunately, I took that confidence and I quit cheer to pursue a career in car rentals, which ended up being the worst mistake I ever made. Well, that and getting a meth head pregnant.
I mean, that's a bad mistake.
We get the flash to like, now we have 7 out of 10 cheerleaders, 13 days until the show off. So now we have Courtney like walking out of a convenience store, and like we see like footage of that, and when she's talking about how she has to find 3 more cheerleaders and teach them a new routine, and she only has like 2 weeks, and she has to grade all these typing papers. While she's talking, you see a girl like going through her car. She's like, get out of there. This girl, like, who we come to find out its name is Peaches, jumps like through the sunroof of the car and like is like flips to another car and then like back flips onto the ground and goes to run off. And she's like, oh my God. And she's like chasing us. She's like, come back. Cheer for me. What? She's like, I want you on my college cheer team. You're the best natural athlete I've ever seen. Come and cheer for me. She's like, what if I don't want to? It's like, I could show this video to the cops and then you'll have a very different kind of future. Which is like, in that moment, like, if you're going to rob someone, unfortunately, she robbed the one person who had their documentary crew with her.
To a reference only Ferg will understand, I feel like she's in the parkour gang from Punisher Warzone.
Gets blown up in midair.
It's blown up in midair by a rocket launcher. That movie fucking rules.
And then Courtney asks what her name is, and she tells her it's Peaches. She's like, oh, that's so sweet. And then you get Peaches' talking head, which she explained that she got that nickname because she bashed a girl in the head with a can of Cling Peaches, and it stuck. The Peaches and the name. So now we have 8 out of 10, 11 days until the show off, and we're back at the Heådlston Gym.
When the show ends too, you notice it has that like Georgia Peach logo at the end. That like anything filmed in Georgia, because Georgia, it rotates like Boston had a big time. Jay, you starred in a Herbal movie. Georgia has their thing. I wonder if this was like a concession where like we'll name the girl Peaches because of Georgia, like to get like a fucking benefit of some sort.
Like the film's cheaper,
right?
The location shoots. Yeah,
it's so funny to think of now because it's all digital. It means nothing. There's no dollar amount anymore.
So now we see that we have 8 out of the 10 cheerleaders, 11 days until the show off. And we're back at the Heådlston Gym, and they're about to have practice. So she's like, all right, let's get started. We have a lot to do today. And she's like, has anyone seen my iPad? And like, you get that cut where you see Peaches is like, has it like under her, like, and she's like trying to slide away so she doesn't notice that she took it. And this is, when we meet Sally for the first time, who's, coming in for the cheer tryouts. Courtney's like, oh, that's from 5 weeks ago. She's like, oh gosh, sorry. Things have been kind of crazy between classes and my job. Plus, I just turned 18, so my foster parents kicked me out, which was fine because they were just starting to love me.
She's my favorite character.
She should have went with Sinbad. Sinbad would have never stopped loving her.
That's true. He would not have.
Go back and listen to our Sinbad show episode.
Which was surprisingly a good show.
It was great. I liked it a lot.
Been a good episode. Not us, but like ours was terrible, sure, but like the show itself was surprisingly good.
Ours was great.
Yeah, I actually thought it was a really fun episode for us. Go back and listen to it for real. So, she's like, oh, honey, are you okay? She's like, yeah, why? This comes up later too. It's like, Sally lives like an extremely tragic life, but doesn't seem to understand how tragic it is.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where like nature and nurture sometimes doesn't fight itself, where like some people can survive through weird, just like, nope, everything is fine. It's like she's one of those characters where like, man, if everybody had that, we'd all probably be in a lot better of a place.
Yeah. We have Courtney's talking head. It's like, to be clear, Sally is not a great cheerleader, but there is no way that she is not making this team, not with that life. And later she talks about like, she might even adopt her.
I don't want to jump ahead, but just to show how amazing this character is that later on she's staying for a little while at their house, and Boone finds out she loves Ace Ventura 2, and she doesn't know there's an Ace Ventura 1. That's like the funniest fucking joke ever.
It's funny because we see Sally do like a backflip. She's lives off balance, but I'm still like, she still did a backflip and landed on her feet.
Like I said earlier,
make it like,
none of us could
she's
do
not,
that.
Yeah, she's not a good cheerleader at all, but it's like, yeah, but she can still do a backflip and land on her feet. So like, I'd say she has the bones of something you could mold with, like
you can coach
like crazy.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one of my issues with this show. as a whole is they're not bad news bears enough. When they do the thing at the end, they're pretty good. They need to be terrible and
look
work
at the team
their
that's
way
being
up.
assembled. You know what I mean? We already know like Madonna is good. Then Steven has a route, like he was doing like cheer competitions and winning championships with her back in the day. DeMarcus is a star athlete. Peaches could do flips. All those other girls are TikTok dancers. Like, so it's not like the Mighty Ducks, right? Where like most of them just suck. They all have natural talent. She has to like get everything together.
But I do want the one dad or mom being like, is that what I'm paying my overtime for? Do you see my dog's taking falls? Like, that's what I want to come in here. Also, isn't it weird that as you become an adult,
Cake
like,
eater.
I now relate to the dad of Mighty Ducks more than the kids. Like, his overtime money, how fucking dare you make those kids throw falls?
Now we have 9 cheerleaders, it says. We're 10 days away. And we're seeing practice. And she's like, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. DeMarcus, focus, 5, 6, 7, 8. Peaches, try to smile, babe, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sally, you're okay, honey. 5, 6. Because she just doesn't. She feels so bad. I do like the idea that like Sally is someone who she will never say a bad thing about because she's like her life is so shitty.
So this is like something that kind of, I don't, maybe it's just like my own perception of the character being off, maybe, but she is confusing to me. She has like this vibe about her that's kind of like materialistic and kind of like snobby almost, but then like she also does these things that are really nice, and it kind of bugs me. Like, I kind of wish they had just went one way or the other with this character, because it rides down the middle, and I feel like the tempo of the character is off because of it. Maybe it's just me.
I feel like with her, they're trying to go for like a Sandra Bullock in that Bobby Orr movie. What's it called?
Bobby Orr?
Bobby Orr movie?
No,
Bruins?
not Bobby. Michael Orr.
Michael Orr. Yeah.
Oh, the like white savior movie. Yeah.
Blindside.
Blindside.
The Blind Side, yeah.
There you go.
Me and Michael Orr share a birthday. Same day, same year.
That's the one where she has to save him because if he turns 55, he blows up, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
Oh, Joe, that's Speed 2 Cruise Control.
Oh, I forgot. Where
My
Willem
bad.
Dafoe crashes a plane on the top of the cruise ship.
I don't know, like her character I think has like layers to it, and she's one of those people that like
layers is fine. It's just conflicting. I don't like. I don't know. There's just something about her that doesn't feel maybe hashed out in full yet, and it kind of bugged me.
I will say, I think that they do go further into it as the show goes on, and you have to give like the pilot episode thing where it's like,
yeah, okay.
In a show like this where it's a huge cast too, you have to like give a little of everybody. That makes it harder. This is a tough show because it's a lot of people. It's like Welcome Back, Kotter, right? Where it's like, there's 20 kids in this class. We have to give everybody a couple minutes.
As far as this episode goes, we meet a lot of people, you know? For the most part, I think a show that has, because we've critiqued other shows in the past that have big casts, and they did a pretty good job of, in a short time span, of kind of giving everybody a little bit of shine and highlight to like give you enough of them. Where I feel like other shows, it's just like, we're like, okay, we need like 6 people tops in this show so we can digest like what's going on. And we have a lot of characters here, and we're getting like pretty much a decent vibe for just about all of them. Like, when you really think of how many people we've been introduced to, like between this squad and her husband, and now Tammy's character, and the 2 presidents of the dean of one school, the president of the other one. Like, there's a lot of people we've met, and I would argue the show paces pretty well to be able to introduce that many characters without overwhelming you.
Well, to do that, they just had to break down each character to their, like,
They really gave
trait.
everyone a moment.
Like, this one steals. This one has a sad life. This one has narcolepsy.
You're not over delving into it. You're giving us, like, a taste, you know?
Does this also feel a little bit like, I don't know why this organically is coming up again, but like it feels like wrestling again when we were kids, where it's like, everybody's a character, but like, this is the wrestler with narcolepsy, and this is the curly haired one who has no family, and this is the one who does flips real good. And like, it just seems like everybody has one trait, and like, you relate to it because like,
at least
that's
up
their
front,
thing.
you know what I mean? And I know you guys would know more, and I almost rather not know how it fleshes out.
To be fair, Mr. Hughes had narcolepsy.
In real life?
Yeah. He would fall asleep. He got fired from a number of companies because they thought he was on drugs because he'd fall asleep in the ring.
Oh. Well, that's
Probably helped you
unfortunate.
wear sunglasses too.
So to reel it back in, Courtney and Peaches are having like a sidebar conversation during practice. she's talking about how they have to be, Courtney's telling Peaches how they have to be able to trust her. And she's like, fine, here. And she hands her like some sunglasses that she stole. She's like, how long have you had this? Like, I don't know, like 30 minutes. And like while they're having this conversation, we see Sally get like tossed and like falls to the floor. And she's like, whoa, and heads over to him. Sally, you all right? Like, DeMarcus, she's not a football. And Madonna's like, if she was, he wouldn't throw her. And he's like, oh, okay, Sleeping Beauty, what's up? And like now the two of them are like about to get into like a pull apart. And there's like kind of like a small scuffle with the whole team.
One thing that's important to mention, I think that you glossed over real quick, is just that when they do the cutaways to the city of like Heådlston as a like interstitial, there's always a cloud of candy dust floating over.
Oh, you know, I never really quite noticed that.
Yes, when they and it becomes like a big part of the show where like because Sally works at the factory, she's always like covered in button dust. They make it such a big thing of the show, and you see it a few different times here. And like if you watch it the second time again, like I said earlier, you notice things.
It's almost like Parks and Rec to bring that up again, where like Pawnee's a dump basically, and
right. Yes, like at this scene where they just cut for 2 seconds to show like an overhead view of Heådlston before they cut back down again, you just see like a toxic cloud floating over the whole city. So it's just like a weird way to be like, the button factory is in charge of everything.
This is when like, when she's trying to bring everything up, talking about like how everyone needs to come together as a team. This is when you have like Steven's character like position himself as like the makeshift captain assistant to her. And he's like repeating everything she's saying. He's like, we don't have time for this. You need to work. And she's like, let me handle this. All right. And then he just keeps repeating her. It's like, I have this. And then we get the talking head of Courtney talking about how like, it feels like what used to be the easy part is now the hard part. And the hard part hasn't even happened yet. And then we cut to like back at the gym. There's another one of those pyramids like set up. So they're like in a formation. There's like that whole tumble and the squad starts arguing. And I was kind of wondering, cause like in the beginning when she's like talking about how she was like a winning coach and we saw like the pyramid tumble down, was that the new squad? But would we still think she's coaching the old squad cause they're like getting coverage? Cause she's talking about what a great,
I didn't think
she's talking about how great of a coach he is and how great the program is. And
no,
all
it
these...
can't be because she hasn't, I don't think she's fired at that point. Like I think she's
but that's why I don't understand. Cause like, oh, this isn't them. And it's like, well, then who is that?
It's a documentary, like though. It can be edited any way, so that could be
so it could be because I was like, why would she? It didn't make sense in the moment. Now I'm like, well, maybe they just went and showed that in the beginning.
I'll have to go back and look at the gyms.
Yeah, or see like if we could pick out anybody in it in the background,
or who's in the pyramid. Yeah,
she's getting frustrated watching everything kind of go down. She's like yelling at them, and as she's yelling, like DeMarcus like walks off a little bit, and she's like, oh, where are you going, DeMarcus? Are you going to quit like you quit everything? And he's like, I'm just getting my shoe.
I felt so bad for him in this moment. To be fair, though, he is a quitter.
That's true. She's like, all right, practice is over. And like, she goes to like run off. He's like, where are you going? She's like, going wherever people go in this town when it's their birthday. And then it cuts to the old promo video again for the Button Factory. And it's like open every day except Christmas and Tuesday. And you get the cut back where it's Madonna going, who wants to tell her it's Tuesday?
And this is like the thing that makes me love this show so much. I love the constant callbacks. I think that's so funny and like a very specific type of humor. But just to be like, we're just going to keep playing the video of the Button Factory promo. We're going to keep playing the coach Boone getting hit and then just make it work differently into new scenarios. I think is so funny. And probably like, if I was in charge of a network, I'd be like, you guys are doing a great job of saving money by using the same scenes over and over again without having to film anything new. That's pretty awesome.
The next scene, we see like Courtney in her bed and she's just like on her like tablet or whatever, like watching clips. And like Boone comes out of the bathroom and his like robe's open. It's like, baby, you're not in your birthday suit. And then she like does like a gesture to be like, hey, the camera guys are here. He goes, oh shit, sorry. That was a freebie.
I laughed really hard at that. Was a freebie.
I love his character too, because like he'd be less likable if he was like mad about that, you know, like the way he handles it, where he's like, "That's a freebie." You're like, "Oh, this guy's so lovable. How are you mad at him for anything?"
I liked she's saying how she had such a bad day, and he's trying to console her, and she like dictates what level he's supposed to. Like he has to like ask if he can even be like, "Should I?" So he says like, "Aw," and she's like, "No, that's too much." He goes, "Aw." Like, it's like, all right, that's better. And she's showing clips of like the old squad. And she's like, look how good my old team was. And I'll say this, like, as funny as his character is, like we saw early in the episode and then again here, like when he's not having brain issues or whatever, like he's very like compassionate and good
Loving,
with her, like when he gives her advice.
He's
usually
ride or die, especially later in the season.
He's a very grounded character. So he's telling her like, hey, they didn't start out like this. Remember that one kid who ate batteries for money? I used to call him a busted can of biscuits. What was his name? Steven. He's my base now. He goes, all right.
I love that visual too, though. Like, think of it like the fucking pop cans of biscuits where like you twist them and they explode out of the can, which is like some sort of devil science somebody created. Like, calling somebody a busted can of biscuits is kind of a very funny.
Way funner than eating them.
You don't like biscuits?
I love biscuits.
I don't love those biscuits.
What about the cinnamon rolls, though?
Cinnamon rolls are a different story. We're not talking.
I prefer the
rolls.
biscuits.
We're talking biscuits. Of course,
I
you
love
do.
biscuits.
But they pop out of the same kind of can.
Yeah.
I mean, your bland ass taste.
Poppin'
I like
Fresh.
biscuits.
Leave
Sue
Poppin'
me.
Fresh alone.
Also, they make a good, like, if you need a quick pizza crust, like the cans of pizza crust, you can make a nice little pizza.
See, now that's where I'll disagree with you, because I feel like anybody who makes a good pizza dough, you can buy one, usually not frozen, like in the cooler, and you can roll that out, and it's way better than the frozen
Yeah, if you
one.
want to go through the trouble of rolling out pizza dough, but if you want to do something quick and just pop a can and roll it out and put some shit on it.
Rolling out a
Like,
pizza dough takes like 3 minutes if you do it right. You get a heavy weighted rolling pin is the first thing.
yeah, then you're going to throw
Not a-
fucking flour all over a table and make a mess.
I'll take the J suggestion.
Life is too short to eat bad pizza.
I'm not saying that it's a better pizza. I'm saying just the same as I'm sure you can get better cinnamon rolls and a better biscuit than the ones out of the pop cans too. But I'm saying in a pinch, not a bad option if you're trying to make a quick pizza.
You're just mad that there's no instant gluten dough.
No, look, I'm mad there's no instant gluten pop cinnamon buns for sure, but I'll buy the gluten-free dough that's not frozen, and I will. It's worth the rollout. It takes 2 minutes to roll it out right, and
The
then
gluten-free pop cans retract when you hit them. They just go in.
They implode.
It's basically the fucking Titan
Whoa.
submersible.
You whack it on the table. It just goes.
It takes a bunch of millionaires trying to do Rubik's cubes to the bottom of the ocean and just implodes into nothing, and then you have no dinner.
So
That poor fucking kid. By the way, that poor fucking kid. I'm so mad about that still. I think about it like
I
once
know.
a week.
I
That
used to
poor
talk. I felt like
fucking
I was
kid.
the only one who showed compassion for them at the time.
No. I
Well,
only
for-
show compassion for the kid. The other ones
Yeah.
are fucking idiots. They were adults. They made their own choices. And the guy who ran Titan is a fucking idiot.
I think the guy who ran it's a piece of shit. I think the millionaires who have good intention of like the idea of like, oh, this is like such a great opportunity.
They could have looked up the safety record of it. And look, even I'll go even further to say anybody who went on it, like the French oceanographer guy, he knew what he was doing. But the guy who took his fucking teenage kid in should have looked up and done some more research onto the safety of this thing. The idea of taking your kid in there, like he killed his fucking kid. Take me like, well,
he
he's
didn't-
like,
I think he was thinking of a
he
fun
went
bonding experience with his
Yeah.
kid. I don't think he fucking killed his kid.
Yeah.
No,
he
he
went on a
should
show.
have looked up how unfucking safe that was and taken. He's a billionaire. Done his kid do something different.
You could die on the highway. If I crash my car on the highway, did I kill my son?
Yeah.
No.
I
No,
will
agree.
say that.
But if you drove a car that was on fire with your kid in it, I would say that maybe at that point you were being less safe than you should have been.
We can talk about this for a half hour. We don't have the time to. I do want to mention this though. The only thing I'll say is he did go on multiple trips with that same thing beforehand. It wasn't like it was the test run. Like the guy could be like, well, he has gone down there like a dozen times successfully with this thing. So it's not like it's not at least tested. You know, he had done it. But again, we can talk about this all day.
You're making him sound
I feel
like
strongly about
famed
some of this.
child abuser, Evil
Yeah.
Knievel right now, and he's just not that.
Yeah.
Look, even though he was a famed child abuser, I have way more respect for Evil Knievel because he only tried to kill himself all the time.
Yeah.
If there was money in it, he would have tried to kill his son too.
That's true. Well, I mean, technically, Robbie Knievel.
Yeah.
My favorite
Anyways,
clip ever of this
yeah.
show is he's dead. It
Yeah.
was so real.
I didn't know that.
So,
You did not know.
It was so honest and so earnest. What a funny conversation.
So anyways, to reel this back, Boone's still talking. They're going over like her old teams and she's talking about how she didn't know what she was doing back then and how she went from like no idea what to do. And then 2 years later, she won her first championship and she did that all from scratch.
That's the thing, not to waste more time, but why is there such this timeline to do it this year? took her 2 years the first time. She doesn't need that record right now. She can build that program up over years.
They did establish that like he wants to start a family too, and she wants to get this record beforehand. So she did promise like, give me 1 year and then like I'll retire. So,
but they should have said like consecutive one coach.
They should have, exactly.
Yeah.
That should have been the record, consecutive.
Otherwise, take 5 years off, have a family, like do some other stuff, and,
get
like,
back into it.
Yeah.
She's just a coach. She could be a coach while pregnant.
That too.
Yeah, it's not like she's like, I'm gonna get on the top of the pyramid and do a flip.
Right.
Like you're coaching. Yeah.
He's saying like, just do what you did back then. Well, I can't. I know too much now. Like you can't forget what you already know. And he goes, I did, yeah. And they re-show just him like, having his brains turned into mashed potatoes again.
That quick cut back to the accident, to the
tackle.
Accident. Tackle
well,
again,
it's just the play.
Have I been tackled? My God.
Yeah.
That's like one of the moments too where like I was like, I'm fucking so all into this show. Just I did in that voice, in his Texas voice.
Yeah.
Just fucking muck ducked again on the football field. Oh, it's so fucking funny.
He's saying like, what you got to do is be that feisty girl that thinks outside the box, and I know you can do it. She's like, thank you, coach. You're welcome, coach. And she goes, I see you looking at my zip patch. I'm still feisty, by the way. And then he looks at the camera. He's like, time to go, fellas. Come on out. That's your cue. Don't let the good door kiss you. I'm going to go kiss her. I don't know why him
so
saying it like
weird.
that like caught me, but I did find it funny for him for his version of that saying.
It feels like he messed up the line in real life, but
And it
then
was just
like,
worse.
they're editing
They
and they
just
were
ran
like,
with
this
it,
works
yeah.
for that character so well that we should keep this in the way it was. Yeah.
So now it's like we're 3 days until the show off. She's apologizing for how she acted, and it's her job to make them get ready for Daytona. She's going to do everything she can to make that happen. And then Madonna gets up and she starts to like, yeah, you will. And like starts doing a little cheer and then passes out. It's like, oh, there she goes. Let her rest. It gets brought up like, hey, I think Steven's the one who said it, but like, I don't want to be that person, but we're still one person shy of qualifying for Daytona. And then you get Sally go, I would ask my sister, but she passed away. Courtney goes to like give her a hug. And Sally's kind of like looking at the camera like, okay, whatever, like doesn't understand that she just said the saddest thing in the world.
It's just like 6 seconds of no dialogue that is so much funnier than anything a person could actually say.
She's like a reverse Eeyore. She says sad things, but she's happy.
Reverse Eeyore. New band name, call it. Oh, bother.
She's like, it is true, we are one shy, and no sooner does this come up, Crystal walks in. Crystal, what are you doing here? I've decided to bring my skills in cheerleading to Heådlston to help you with this national championship at Daytona. And then you get Courtney's talking head where she admits that she told Crystal that the documentary is actually about her. And that's thinking outside the box.
Smart coaching.
So now practice is underway. Madonna's doing her thing. Steven and DeMarcus are doing like the jump splits where you like split in the air. And you see Crystal with Sally. And
He does
Peaches
a
showing
good
them how
job
to
of this,
do
by the
makeup.
way. He gets his legs pretty far apart.
Yeah, he's like clearly an athlete.
Not Steven.
No, well, he can do
No,
stuff.
Steven.
just
No, I
not
think
as-
Steven
yeah.
too. I'm actually talking about Steven. Steven, like for somebody like if we all tried to do that.
No, because their mistake is they have him do it next to with DeMarcus.
DeMarcus, yeah.
But I think for like,
And
But I
he's
think that's
very
good.
good at it.
but for an average person, none of us could do it as good as Steven does.
I think you could.
I don't
Believe
think
in
I could.
yourself.
I was at the chiropractor today. I don't think I could.
When Crystal's talking to the other girls, showing them how to do makeup, she's like, no, you guys, I'm serious. You're both so naturally beautiful. You just need to wear more makeup. It's like, wait. And you get Peaches talking head where she goes, Crystal being on a team really makes a difference. It's like we're important. You know, it's not just like we're a bunch of losers or criminals and stuff. And you see like her ankle bracelet.
It's so weird to think of because it's like a pretty common thing, right? The ankle bracelet. None of us have had to do it. Jay, you've been arrested more recently than the rest of us.
Yeah, no, I was not on house arrest. I was allowed to roam the world.
But like, what a weird thing, right? Because like we've talked about things before where you're like, if you eat a banana before you blow into the breathalyzer thing in your car, right? Like it could say you're drinking and shut your car down. For like anything you have in regular outdoor life, like how waterproof is the ankle bracelet? I mean, like if I had that, I'd be showering with one leg out of the shower. I'd be so afraid that I would fuck something up and have like a SWAT team come to my house.
Some people have to wear those for like a year or two. Like you have to be able to shower.
Usually it's for like a pretty long time because it's usually in between. It's either a long term of probation or it's a like while you're out waiting for trial, which a trial sometimes can take like 2 years, right? So like you have to wear that for a long fucking time. I imagine they must like degrade or like if the battery dies, what do? You just sit there and go like call the cops, be like, I'm right here, I didn't do anything. Like, what a weird thing.
You should be able to make some sort of a watch version now that they can like still lock onto your arm that doesn't look as obvious.
It's like, good thing, guys. I'm not going to jail and my steps today are so high.
I think it's because it would be easier to get it off. I know you can still get it off your foot, but it's at least more difficult.
I will say this. I've never seen one in the street, but I've seen probably 30 car boots in the street in my entire life. And I feel like they can catch you either way. Whenever I see a boot in the street where like someone's like, I broke it off, I'm like, you know they took your license plate number down, right? Like, they're gonna come find you, and they're gonna charge you more because you broke a boot.
They do windshield ones now.
What?
Yeah, they like cover your
it's like
whole
a big,
windshield.
It like coats the whole thing.
That's so fucking smart. Somebody,
Yeah.
After this, send me a picture of that. I've never seen that before. Yeah. We need to remake Parking Wars now. Okay, 2025, 2026, whatever. We need to remake Parking Wars. I need to see what happens to the poor people of Philly when they make boots on a windshield and how insane that gets.
When we stayed at the hotel after your daughter's birthday, that's all that was on the TV. It was like a channel.
Old Parking Wars. Yeah.
Like those weird Roku channels that just air random shows 24/7.
When I went to Florida a couple months ago, it was just Pluto TV was the only cable they had on the TV. So it was Parking Wars and American Pickers for all I watched for like 4 days. It was like, this works, I guess. I'll just deal with this.
Coming up, maybe my favorite joke of the whole episode. And I feel like this is very Parks and Rec too. We get back to Sammy Davis Senior Junior College. I'm sorry, I knew I was going to eventually slip. We have Tammy being interviewed in the gym, and she goes, look, am I upset about losing Crystal? Crystal who?
Oh, this joke's so funny.
And she's like, not you. And it pans over to a girl whose name is Crystal who? H-U.
So this joke was in the original commercial, and that's what made me watch the show. That's how funny I thought.
See, I don't remember like the ads well enough, and at least it was like far enough away at least. So if I saw it, maybe I don't remember it. But like, that was my favorite joke of this whole episode. It was so
the
stupid.
Best joke.
She starts saying like, I have 6 people who could be flyers right now. Heck, back in the day, I made nationals. Maybe if you beg, I'll show you my herky. And then she's like, ready? Okay. And she does like a quick, I mean, like, she can't quite do it, but she got up in the air a little bit. So,
got as high as Steven.
Yeah. So now it's show off day. And now we see the gym, is packed. It's like, I thought it was just supposed to be a few people. And Crystal's like, I put it on my socials. And you get the talking head from, Courtney. She's like, are you fucking kidding me right now, Crystal? Like, I don't have enough to be worried about. And, they all gather.
About wrestling again, but like, we've all been to indie wrestling shows where like, instead of the high school gym, it's at the middle school gym, and you're sitting on these tiny bleachers and you go to pee, and the like, little barriers for the urinal are tiny, you like can't fit through them. This is like a elementary school / middle school gym. This is a tiny little gym when you see like the bleachers and everything up.
She brings everyone in and they start talking about like how, cheer is more than being on a team. It's like being part of a family. And that cuts and we see like a clip of like the whole cheer team at Courtney and Boone's house. And they're all sitting at the table and Boone walks out with like a birthday cake and they start singing happy day after your birthday to you. And she's talking about like, for some of the kids, this is the only family that they have. And she never won a championship as a cheerleader herself, but maybe if she had someone to build her up, she would have. And then, but possibly wouldn't be the coach she was today had she won. So, and then like it cuts back again to the cake thing and you have Boone go to sing again. It's like, we already did that. I'm so sorry.
I love that they drill in just enough, but make it
they don't overdo
far
it.
enough away.
Cause that stuff like we said with the narcolepsy, that could like get old real quick. And the head injury stuff could, but they are very subtle with it and they space it out.
I think this is their limit. If there was one more, I would have complained.
Yeah. They push it right to the proper edge.
Now it's time to go out and the music starts. You get the, y'all ready for this? And the team's all heading out to do the routine. And you see Tammy like in the audience hiding with like her sunglasses on, like spying. They start doing the routine.
Be loaded, huh? The people that made that song, like the Jock Jam song.
Oh yeah, that's
like forever and anything.
That
sports.
Or they signed a terrible deal 30 years ago and make no money. It's one or the other.
That's the bummer of Rock and Roll by Gary Glitter. We were like, that pedophile makes so much money every time any fucking team drops a puck on the ice.
Da, 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 da.
Hey!
Like, that guy's just like, well, I'll just live in Thailand and I'll take all this money to keep using to fund my legal defense. Also, there was a story of him today in the news that was like, Gary Glitters looks like he's about to die. And you're like, that's fine. That's okay, right? We don't need this guy around anymore.
Every time the Joker dances down the stairs, that guy gets $1 million.
Every time some weird sad little boy goes on Instagram to the Joker stairs.
Oh, all right. Well, anyways, so
Jay, you felt like that really hurt you.
Oh, all right.
So they
Jay immediately deleting his Instagram photo of him at the Joker stairs. Like,
I wish, but I have a hard time getting up and downstairs right now because of my ankle.
That's why it bums you out, because you can't go up and down the stairs.
I can't dance up and down the Joker stairs.
He's just saddened by all stairs.
Me just holding the railing as I take
We
a
had to
step
cover
at a
the
time.
letter Jay wrote to the editor being like, what about a Joker escalator? Maybe we think it's what moving walk like the airport?
The Wolverine meme, but it's Jay on those stairs.
So anyway, so they start doing this routine and they're actually really good. And at the moment, I'm kind of like, we've talked about like when there's too much finality at the end of the episode. I'm like, this team's too good already. Like, why are we doing this? But there's an and then, because she's like, can they make it to Daytona? We can, we will. And then right as the routine ends and everyone's cheering, you have Crystal at the top of the pyramid and she goes to do like a flip to get down. But like Steven and DeMarcus are supposed to catch her and DeMarcus is like distracted and like basically celebrating the end of the routine and walks off. So she falls straight to the ground. And it's like, oh no, what happened? DeMarcus, where were you? And you just see her like, why? And her ankle is completely snapped over. They blur it, but it's like enough.
The opposite direction.
Yeah.
And they blur it because it's so fucking early. And
Yeah,
also,
but it's enough blurs because it's obviously like it's not real. So, but they do it enough so you can see that everything is not where it's supposed to be.
you can tell too the writing here. The writers are our generation too, where like it's obviously a Nancy Kerrigan like why scenario. It's just like I think that like if you asked a teenager now, but like, do you know who Nancy Kerrigan is? Or if I say why or hit you in the knee with a lead pipe, would you know what that means?
Yeah. They also hit us with like one last Madonna falls asleep, which I kind of felt like, I guess they want to like really drive in that like this team has a long ways to go still. But I thought like maybe that was one too many on that joke for this episode.
I was okay with it just in this scenario, but it's the only way I would have taken one more because you're like, okay, we're trying to like,
because it was almost like a side note. It wasn't
Yeah.
like it was just kind of like it's just adding to the chaos.
Hey, if it was 20 seconds earlier, it would have ruined the chair on its own.
that's true.
Which is the constant fear, I guess.
One little thing too that during this scene I think is worth pointing out is that you see that Peach's ankle bracelet is bedazzled at this point.
Yeah.
So she's like gone in as well, which is like a small subtle thing I think was pretty cool.
Something about getting that little makeover from Crystal, I think, really.
The reddest cheeks of all time.
Yeah. But yeah, that's how the episode ends. And
Well, it ends on her saying, we might, after she breaks her leg.
oh,
Yeah. Like, we can, we will, we must.
the part we
is
had cut
might,
off,
yeah.
I meant to double check the last few seconds. Like, I got it. So this is a show that definitely had its like, there are moments where when you deep dive, like this is a pretty smart show, but there were some glaring holes that I think we catch at points. But I think the overall like comedy and pacing was pretty well done. And I mentioned this earlier, but I think I'm most surprised with the ability to introduce this many characters in a way that wasn't overwhelming. Because it didn't drag. The episode is dense. A lot's happening, but it's fast paced, but you can keep up with it. Like, they really wrote a tight line, and I think they did nail that in a way that I don't think you think about in the moment. And maybe most people wouldn't unless they do what we do. But like, for the amount that they crammed into one episode and still gave it, you know, enough that you could digest it all and didn't either feel rushed or a clock watch, I think is a skill in itself, regardless of the content within the episode.
I think too, without saying anything about the further episodes, we talked earlier about the confidence of the writing being like, we will make episodes about different characters later on, right? Like,
Yeah.
to the point where like even like the facilities director gets a plot line. You know what I mean? Like they make a point to within 13 episodes or whatever it is have everybody have their story told. And they didn't try to push all of those in the pilot, which I think is really important. And we talked earlier, right? Like, some shows just try way too hard to be like, this is everything just in case it gets fucked up. Or, and we see it again in streamers, right? Where it's like, you don't have to on a streamer. You've got a guaranteed 20 episodes. Like, let it breathe. So to take the risk on a actual on TV, like terrestrial cable show and be like, we think this is good enough that we'll like put just enough out there to tease you and hope you come back to watch everyone else's backstory come out, I think is very commendable in the modern climate.
With all that being said, we've kind of been going on for a while, so I don't want to overstay on this one because it's a longer episode. So to jump right into the Greenlighter cancels, and just a reminder, Gordon's not here, so in the event of a tie or anything like that, his vote will be available on social media when we post a graphic later in the week. But to just get into it, I'll start with the guy who has the most obvious vote because he's wearing a shirt for the show. Joe, starting with you.
Yeah, this is a huge green light for me. I will say this is, though, a little bit tainted by knowing more of the show, because to me it just gets funnier and funnier as it goes on. But to that point, my wife said, hey, I watched this show. I think you might think it's funny, or you might hate it. I can't tell. Will you watch an episode with me? We watched it, and I said, this is so fucking funny. Like, let's keep watching it. And that, I think, is like the exact purpose of the show, right? Like, would you watch a pilot and then think it was good enough to watch more? And I did, and then rewatched the show a bunch of times. And I want all of you to watch it too, so we can talk way more about the like Nazi backstories and all the weird shit that fucking comes up with this show. I fucking love this. Again, I paid like $37 for this t-shirt. I think this is the funniest show. If it does not get renewed, I will be so fucking sad. This is a huge green light. I don't know if Greg NBC hears this, please renew this show. This is my favorite new TV show. Green light.
Ferg.
Yeah, it's a green light from me. I watched the pilot and I continued to watch it in real time. So I guess it already stands that test of time. But their ability to have such a giant cast and you get to know every one of them and it doesn't feel overwhelming, that's not an easy thing to do. We've had trouble with shows that have 5 people and it's too much. Everything's well done. It's, I think, around all of our sense of humor. It won over Joe, and it's a fucking cheerleading show. So it's like, what much can I say? Other than I like the show, so it gets a green light.
Nick.
I'm also giving it the green light. I am not as hard green light as you guys are. There were some things about this show that I didn't love. I do feel like the concept is just like a little recycled and kind of hollow almost. It's just another NBC workplace style mockumentary. Like, it has less to do with the show itself and more to do with like, I mean, like, how many of these things do we actually need? It has enough legs where like I laughed enough and I enjoyed the characters and the story enough, but I think I don't know, like deep down, like I was just a little like, okay, like I get it, like I know what this show is before 5 seconds into it, right? Like it doesn't have like a crazy, you know, it doesn't have like its own really defined personality. It's just kind of like an amalgamation of like 5 other things NBC has done, which is fine, right? Like as long as it works. And I do think this does work, which is why I'm greenlighting it. But I'm like a middle of the road greenlight here. It's like I went into this a little unsure, honestly, leaning sort of cancel. And then talking about it, I realized it has more charm than I thought it did when I watched it. So it's a green light, but like I said, not the easiest green light I've ever given.
So yeah, I would say I lean a little bit more with Nick than the two of you in that I'm ultimately going to give it the green light. I question how much desire I have to really keep watching, but I think technically on so many standpoints, the show is done really well. So like, I can't bring myself to saying I would cancel it because I didn't dislike the show. Don't get me wrong. There's something about the subject matter, I think, for me. Like, I don't mind that it's another workplace comedy. I don't mind. And it's funny because you think of The Office, you think of Parks and Rec. It's a paper company. It's a parks department. There's so many shows that like, I don't really care about what the main subject is, but something about cheerleading just doesn't interest me in a way. Like, and it's no offense to people who like cheerleading. It just doesn't grab my eye. And I'm like, how much time do I want to invest in watching something about the nuances of cheerleading? But good comedy is still good comedy. And I think the show is done really well. I probably will watch more of it, to be honest, because I do have a a thing for that NBC style comedy that like, really kind of grabs me. Then I feel like you see other networks try to do the same things and can't. And now we have shows like this and Reggie Dinkins, which came out recently. And I'll say Reggie Dinkins is probably, for me, you said this is your favorite modern comedy. Reggie Dinkins for me has been that so far, and that I really like that one.
It's funny because I love Bobby Moynihan so much, and I just don't really think Reggie Dinkins has the juice.
Yeah, I love it. I Reggie Dinkins, to me, every episode's been great. But I don't want to... Anyways, we covered that show, so you can go back and listen to that one. But it's still a green light for me nonetheless. And with that being said, that's already 4 out of 5. So regardless of what Gordo gives it, or if Gordo even ever watches it, it is going to be a green light from us. I want to thank all you guys for listening. Remember, S1E1pod.com is where you can find all our socials, where to listen to us, where to get a t-shirt or something of that nature. Please do all that stuff. Rate, review, subscribe, hit us up, let us know shows you want us to cover in the future. We like talking to you guys. We get a lot of messages these days from different people, and it's always nice to know who's listening and that they like hearing what we do and what shows you want us to do. So keep it up. But until then, we want to thank you guys for listening one more time. See you next week with another one. Thank you. Goodbye.
I think we got the best Dean Martin.